Can we really say that we are the only ones out here? It's possible that the government has more information than they're letting on. The theory that our government is covertly shooting down UFOs is the stuff of conspiracy theories and science fiction. Yet, in Alaska, this is more than a theoretical possibility. Alaska is a place where you can get closer to the truth than you imagine. Get ready to be astounded and maybe even scared by what we find. An unidentified flying object was destroyed by a United States fighter jet flying over Lake Huron in the state of Michigan on Sunday, making the third such incident to occur in the past 3 days. Earlier, in a coordinated operation between the U.S. and Canada, a U.S. Air Force aircraft shot down a UFO that was flying over Alaska. In the same operation, another U.S. Air Force aircraft shot down a UFO that was flying over northwestern Canada. Security officials in North America have reached their breaking point as a result of the unprecedentedly high number of UFOs that have been shot down. Due to the limited information that is accessible in the public domain, the history and nature of these unidentified flying objects are shrouded in mystery. In addition, on Sunday, the U.S. general who is in command of operations in North America declined to rule out the idea that these UFOs have an extraterrestrial or alien origin. In this article, we will discuss how these shootdowns of UFOs have transpired up until this point, what is known about these UFOs, and what the meaning of the U.S. General's comment about the alien origin is. 3 unidentified flying objects have been intercepted in the space of 3 days, marking a first in aviation history. The U.S. Air Force has intercepted and destroyed 3 unidentified flying objects during the past 3 days while they were flying over North America. Officials from the Pentagon have described it as unprecedented. The orders to fire down the aircraft came directly from the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, who is also in the loop. Also, he has conferred with the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, in the context of the U.S. and Canada working together to jointly protect the airspace over North America through their joint command known as the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD. On Friday, a U.S. F-22 fighter intercepted and destroyed the first UFO ever spotted over Alaska. It was said that the object had a cylindrical shape. It is yet unknown whether or not the remains of the person who fell have been found. On Saturday, an American F-22 fighter intercepted and destroyed a second UFO that was flying above the Yukon region in the northwest of Canada. Its shape was characterized as cylindrical. It is yet unknown whether or not the remains of the person who fell have been found. NORAD made the initial discovery of the second unidentified flying object on Friday while it was over Alaska, according to the Department of Defense statement released on Saturday. Once the object crossed into Canadian airspace, NORAD continued to monitor its progress. According to the Department of Defense, Vice President Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau held discussions and authorized its shootdown. As a direct consequence of this, aircraft from the U.S. and Canada were scrambled, and an F-22 from the U.S. successfully engaged and destroyed the UFO. The FBI in the U.S. and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Canada will investigate the objects that have fallen to the ground. The U.S. Air Force F-16 fighter took down the third UFO when it was flying over Lake Huron in the state of Michigan in the U.S. According to the Department of Defense, this UFO is most likely the same one that was detected by radars above Montana on Saturday, but it was unable to be destroyed by fighter jets. On Saturday, there was one instance of what is known as a false alarm over the state of Montana in the U.S. On radars operated by NORAD, suspicious activity was detected over Montana. In response, the U.S. government limited flying activity in the area and dispatched fighter aircraft. On the other hand, nothing was discovered. After then, the airspace was made available to the public. What information is available on the 3 crashed UFOs? To summarize, very little is known about the 3 UFOs that have crashed, at least not in a public forum. The governments of the U.S. and Canada have not disclosed many details. It is not yet known where or what UFOs come from or what they are. It is also unknown what the status of the operation to hunt for and reclaim their bodies is at this time. On the other hand, it is common knowledge that the first 2 UFOs were cylindrical. It is also known that the second UFO entered Canada from the state of Alaska, which is the same state where the first UFO was destroyed on Friday. According to Canadian Defense Minister Anita Anand, The second unidentified flying object that was shot down in Canada was between 40 and 50,000 feet in altitude and had the shape of a small cylindrical object. According to Reuters, the third unidentified flying object that was destroyed on Sunday had the shape of an octagon. According to the Associated Press, the USA and Canada worked together on Sunday to bring down a UFO that was spotted flying above Lake Huron, which is located in Canada. An official was quoted by the Associated Press as saying that the UFO was flying at a height of 20,000 feet, which is lower than the heights at which the prior UFOs were flying, which ranged from 40 to 50,000 feet. According to a report by the AP, even though the identities of the first two unidentified flying objects are still unknown, it is suspected that they had payloads. According to officials who discussed the continuing inquiry with the Associated Press under the condition of anonymity to protect the integrity of the probe, both were believed to have carried a payload, which was either attached to or suspended from them. The three items were significantly less massive in size, dissimilar to one another in appearance, and flew at lower heights compared to the possible spy balloon, according to AP. Officials in the U.S. stated that they were unable to confirm whether or not the third UFO was the same as the one that had been seen over Montana the day before. According to the AP's account, the third UFO did not appear to have any kind of cargo. It was alleged that, according to a senior administration official, the item was octagonal, with strings dangling off of it, but it had no discernible cargo. The top general says that they can't rule out the possibility that UFOs have an alien origin. As a result of U.S. Northern Command and NORAD Commander General Glenn Van Herk's statement that he would not rule out the extraterrestrial or alien origin of these UFOs, the mystery surrounding UFOs and the tense airspace conditions that exist over North America were further stoked. Importantly, although most people's imaginations associate the term UFO with extraterrestrial beings, the phrase refers to any flying objects that cannot be detected right away. Van Herk stated that he would not discount any possible explanation for UFOs, including their possible extraterrestrial or alien origin. It is a question for the intelligence community as well as the counterintelligence community to answer. I have not excluded any possibilities. At this point, we are continuing our assessment of each known and unknown threat, as well as potential threats that are approaching North America, to identify them, reported Van Herk in response to a question about whether or not these UFOs could have been created by aliens, as reported by Reuters. Unidentified aerial phenomenon is the word that the U.S. government uses to refer to these types of things, although most people refer to the unknown flying objects that they see in the sky as UFOs. Mystery surrounding UFO sightings in Alaska. Reports have come in attributing unusual behavior to the second UFO that was shot down in Alaska, which comes with scant information on the crashed UFOs and the U.S. military's refusal to rule out the possibility that the objects originated from another planet. There are being conflicting reports from American pilots regarding the objects that were shot down over Alaska on Friday. According to a report by CNN, pilots gave varying descriptions of what they observed after coming close to the object, a source briefed on the intelligence told CNN. Some pilots stated it interfered with their sensors, but other pilots said they didn't experience that, CNN reported. According to ABC News, the pilots who were in the area over Alaska did not observe any signs of propulsion on the item. In its most basic form, an aircraft's propulsion system is any machine that generates thrust to propel the aircraft forward. Martha Raddatz, the chief global affairs correspondent for ABC News, was the one who first reported that when the fighter jets were called into action, the pilots performed visual inspections, obtained photos, and reported that there was no indication that the object had propulsion. An official from the U.S. stated that it was cylindrical, had a silvery gray color, and appeared to be floating, stated ABC News in their report. What is the significance of all of this? In addition to the primary reason that the destruction of 3 unidentified flying objects during a period of peace and within the domestic airspace of North America is just unheard of, there is vital background information to the ongoing happenings. After the incident with the Chinese spy balloon, which escalated tensions between the U.S. and China and raised security worries and readiness in the U.S., the military saw and shot down 3 UFOs. The discussion around UFOs, which are now more formally referred to as unexplained aerial phenomenon, has been more heated in recent months. According to a study that was just published by the government of the U.S., there have been 510 sightings of UAP, 171 of which have no known explanation. According to CNN, which cited the data, the amount of activity associated with the UAP has dramatically increased over the past 2 years. According to a report by CNN, since March of 2021, the U.S. government has received over 350 new sightings of what the U.S. government refers to as unidentified aerial phenomenon, more generally known as UFOs. Around half of these reports remain unexplained at this time. In 2014, several of the most well-known UAP occurrences included fighter planes from the U.S. tracking Tic Tac UFOs. They were given this moniker because they appeared to be Tic Tac tablets. In addition to this, there is the example of a mysterious orb that was spotted flying over Iraq. According to journalist and historian Garrett M. Graff, there is at least one clue that the recent UFO experience might not be related to others. This is the conclusion drawn by Graff. Graff pointed out on Twitter that the involvement of the FBI in the probe gives the impression that the U.S. government does not believe there is any extraterrestrial or alien connection to the items that have crashed. According to the remarks released by the military, the FBI is participating in the inquiry into the shootdown in Canada. This suggests a terrestrial counterintelligence mission. The FBI has never been involved in extraterrestrial UFO investigations. The involvement of the FBI rather plainly suggests that the U.S., Canada, and NORAD either know or believe that these UFOs are nation-state devices. Don't be concerned about extraterrestrial life just yet, said Graff, author of the soon-to-be-released book, UFO, the inside account of the U.S. government's quest for alien life here and out there. Yet several people have voiced their concerns regarding President Biden's participation in the entire incident. Brian Bender, a communications consultant, mentioned on Twitter that Vice President Biden needs to address the country to reassure the people before fear sets in. In his writing, "At this juncture I find myself compelled to inquire, where is the president? This has never happened before. In the past 9 days, 4 objects have been shot down for violating the airspace of North America. If for no other reason, we need to hear from the President of the U.S. so that we can put the nation at ease and put an end to the conspiracy theories." Graff also brought attention to the fact that the Biden White House is operating as if nothing is out of the ordinary, although this is not the case. The events that are currently taking place are unparalleled. It's wild that the White House is tweeting random talking points while, the military is regularly shooting down UFOs in American airspace, Graff wrote, sharing a tweet by Biden. "It's crazy that the White House is tweeting random talking points." That's for the video today. If you enjoyed watching this video, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.